Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent of TrentTokens.com. I'm a big fan of the game called True Dungeon and a very avid collector of tokens, which you can see back here on the shelves. Today's episode, I always say this is a very special episode, but today's episode really is. So I guess that means all the other episodes were not special, but this one's special. I've been begging this person to do the show for at least over a year now, and they have finally, begrudgingly, agreed to do it. This is a very special episode. Allow me to introduce the one and the only Gruntle. Say hello, Gruntle. Oh, Gruntle. Oh, Gruntle, it's so great to have you. Hi, Gruntle. It's so good to have you on the show. You know you're my favorite NPC of all time, right?
Get out of here. Get.
What? Okay.
Get out of here. Back to the mine.
My second choice, John from True Dungeon. Hello and welcome to the show, John.
Hello.
Oh, well, let's get the audience loves you too.
I know that guy. I know you.
Welcome to the show, John. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It's a supreme honor. It's the truth that I have been begging you for over a year to join, and you finally have. I really appreciate it. It must have been the money that I sent you that changed your mind.
I didn't get it yet. So.
It's a check, and it's in the mail. So the check's in the mail. Let's say hello to people in the chat. Kuzik, hello. Gilstripes, hello. David Gerspach, hello. David says hello to me and Gruntle. Oh, and he also said hello to you. And Burnt the Waffles, hello. Burnt the Waffles says only Gruntle, no John. So is Gruntle? Oh, now you made John sad.
I'm out of here.
Kuzik says it's Dark Rift money. That's true. I sent you Dark Rift money. Ooh. And Tom, well, now we've seen John and Gruntle in the same room. My world is shattered. Uh-oh. The secret is out. So John from True Dungeon, for those who don't know, John is a very well-beloved human being, one of the sweetest, kindest, gentlest people on the planet, and an employee of True Dungeon. And what a great honor it is to chat with you. And Falcor51 says, "Woo, John is the best." So I agree. To get the party started, John, I'm going to do some icebreaker questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Always born ready.
Here we go. Oh, I forgot the algorithm. See, I have a little note over here on this monitor. There's a little note.
Click the little bell thing.
Yeah, I forgot the bell and the like and the subscribe and tell all your friends and share with your enemies and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'm a terrible YouTuber. So please spread the subscribing and liking stuff. All right, here we go with the icebreaker. First off, an easy one. Favorite color?
Gray.
What? Incorrect. Favorite book or movie?
I just finished a series. I reread a series. It's The Bound Gods. It's Rachel Dunn. You'll have to look it up. It's like really wizardry and swords.
Cool.
And it's pretty crazy.
Bound as in tied up. Bound.
Yep.
Interesting. The Bound Gods.
The background on that one is basically there's these twin gods that make their parents mad. They get cast to earth and people are worshiping them and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. It's
cool. It's a whole series. How many books are in the series?
Three books. So.
Okay. All right. There you go. Favorite book. I'm going to say that's correct. The last show you binged watch, if you a binge watcher.
I can never get enough of The Office. I don't know why.
Really?
I enjoy. I don't know. I enjoy that. I just enjoy that series.
Fine. Many people like that. Cats or dogs?
Actually, if you cook them right, they. I'm just kidding.
What the?
Cats, I guess.
Cats, you guess. Okay, no, don't get the Humane Society after me. Well, now my next question sounds like it's going to be terrible. Name of your first pet that you didn't eat.
It was a cat. Ert. His name was Ert.
Ert. Okay.
E-R-T.
Correct.
Okay.
Favorite type of music.
Kind of depends on what I'm doing or I can listen to pretty much anything. But when it's like just mindless, like packing stuff or whatever, I guess old 70s, 80s country. It's like
Really?
yeah, I just have a soft spot for my mom would like be in the kitchen and have that on the radio. So now that I'm an adult, it just kind of takes me back when I'm like just like
So I heard that stuff. I don't like it, but I heard that stuff when I was growing up too. There is one song I can't remember. I can't sing either. It's like somebody done somebody wrong song. Do you know that one? Is that in that category ones that you would listen to?
probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
All right. Also incorrect. Favorite food.
I don't think you can make a bad pizza. I think even a bad pizza is okay.
Okay,
So
correct.
probably pizza.
Correct. Favorite hobby.
I don't do any hobby kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I guess games. I don't know, board games.
Board
maybe.
games.
Yeah.
All right. That was a lackluster answer. Incorrect.
Sorry.
All right. So let's go to the.
I am a very boring person. So
All right. This is obviously a terrible idea for me to have you on the show.
that's what I told you for a
I
year.
know. Well, I should have listened to you. All right. Let's see if maybe someone in the chat can make this show interesting. Let's see. The Falcor, Sook Jin Trent says hi. That's my wife. She's so cute. Hi, honey. Tom says I'm wearing gray. So there you go. So correct answer.
Okay.
Jeff says hello. Different Jeff. This is Jeff 321. Burnt in the Waffles says, "Is this what you do to bad players? You cast them down to the abyss." I think so. Sean, The Office with Gruntle. Sean, I couldn't answer your phone. Sean just called me. I couldn't answer you. I was setting up for the show, Sean. We'll have to talk after the show. Acoustic says Edge brownies.
Yes.
Oh, his
yes.
favorite food, maybe? Ooh, that's probably good.
Yes. I do
Phil
like
says
it.
hello. Acoustic says favorite hobby is clearly True Dungeon. So, yes.
It's not a hobby though. It's a love. I think there might be a little bit of a difference. Yeah.
Okay.
I love what I do and I get paid for it, so I can't really call it a hobby.
Good times. I'm with you there. It is good to enjoy your job. And I said I'm catching up with the hellos. Hello, Phil. Brad. Ooh, Brad, but belated good day. This is Aussie Brad. Thank you for joining from the Aussie town. Chris Samir says hello. Phil says your favorite hobby is baking bread or stealing treasure.
I do both.
And we already have a question. Thomas Whelan, Whelan. Maybe you could help me out, Tom. Which one is it? Like with a double E, or way, like you weigh something. It's kind of spelled that way. I'm gonna go with Whalen. So Sean has a question, and then Burnt the Waffles has a question, and my wife says, "Watch Trent Token's YouTube." They're watching it now, honey. Oh my God. All right, I'm in charge of marketing, by the way. So let's jump to Sean's question. He says, "Can you tell us your favorite prop in the tomb?" I guess the next.
Oh.
Or do you mean D&D tomb, Sean? Maybe it means Tomb of Terror though coming up.
My favorite prop. Oh. Yeah, because I don't want to give a whole bunch of. Actually, okay. So you'll the Door of Many Doors. You've already seen that. That's a crazy nifty prop. So that's been around for. We built that back in 2020. So it's been sitting here collecting dust for a while. So I'm glad everybody gets to see it. So
yeah, it looks very cool.
And then right beyond that is like. Kind of it's not a prop, it's a set, so you'll see. It's what Jeff and Troy have created is like crazy. It's like crazy cool.
Awesome.
I love it. So yeah,
awesome.
you'll see in January.
Okay. Yep. All right. So Thomas says we like to say we, but it should be Y. So Thomas Weiland. So yeah, Sean was saying Tomb of Terror. So it's going to be that room if we get past the door. Burnt the Waffles says, "Who is your favorite NPC?" Parentheses, obviously me. Burnt the Waffles, by the way, is a particular person.
I think we kind of got married in the Fae somehow as Gruntle and Oh, she was a dryad. I can't remember her name in the
Okay,
module, but
what was your module name, Burnt the Waffles? That you don't even know your wife's name. Oh, you're in trouble.
well, yeah. I mean, I have so many of them.
Falcor says, "Can you give us a spoiler for the Tomb of Terror? Maybe you just did. What's behind that door? A really cool."
It's gonna set up the next couple, and it'll be pretty crazy. Like, yeah, you're gonna see some weird stuff. So, yeah, I mean,
Cool.
it's the Tomb of Terror. So, and then it's yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. You'll
Wow.
enjoy it.
So Sean is a tactician. Sean actually kind of helped me learn D&D and introduced me to True Dungeon. So he's a tactician type character. And he just noticed a lot of undead things. So I think we might need to prep for undead in the Tomb of Terror. What do you think?
Well, there's definitely that possibility, but because it's a Tomb of Terror, there could be anything. So
Okay.
just
All right. There's just a lot of undead tokens in the 2023 set. Just saying.
yep, yep.
And Girl Stripe says, say your favorite prop is the Duck of Doom. Correction. It's Duck of Terror, not Duck of Doom.
Hey, Brunel, can you hand me that duck?
Uh-oh, we got a duck. And your wife says, Eva or Ava, you are so dead.
Yes.
Well,
Well, I mean, she did go and get engaged to a human, so
uh-huh.
quack, quack.
Oh, cool. Skeleton duck. And Corey says, well. Hello, Corey. And Kusik says you did marry 12 others at the same time. I doubt you remember all of those anyway. Barley's
Polymorph.
here. That duck is awesome. As a paladin, I say fill it with evil outsiders. That's what Gilstripe says. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, do me a favor. So there's a lot of chat going by. Maybe just type the word question and then your question so my eyeball can catch it. Speaking of questions, I'm going to jump into some questions that I have here. This is maybe a statement / question. You are the first employee of True Dungeon besides Jeff. I don't know if I consider him an employee as the creator, but you are the first employee on the show. How cool is that, huh? What do you think about that?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it took you a year, but you got me. So.
It did take a year, at least. Speaking of True Dungeon, how did you first hear about True Dungeon?
Actually, kind of weird. So, my brother and I, we were looking for something to do when we get together in the summer or whatever, because we're both in the military. I was in the Air Force, he was in the Navy, and Hasbro had come out with this like cheesy little war game, and we were like getting into it because we could play by phone, kind of. But then we found out that there was a tournament at this place called Gen Con, and we could go play it there and be in a tournament with like other humans that like, and all like. So we made arrangements, went out to Gen Con in 2007. He did more research than I did and bought tickets to this weird thing that called True Dungeon, and I was pretty much forced to go on my first run. I didn't read about it. I didn't know what it was. So I'm imagining boffer weapons and like just weird like LARPing and stuff like that. And I was like, that's not for me. So I begrudgingly like went along. I picked last on the characters. I was like, this is so weird. This is so weird. But then I got the tokens and I was like, well, hold on, this is kind of cool. And then we went into that first room, and it was like the old style dungeon walls.
What year was this?
2007.
Okay. Oh, wow. So the Chippies had just come out.
Yep. And then there was like a water feature in one of the rooms, and we fought a shambling mound or something. I don't even remember. It was just like a blur. But like I remember like being like towards the end of the line, going into a room and looking at the walls and seeing like the little cockroaches, and I was just like blown away. And then
Wow.
it turned into our mecca, and we went every year. And then it was just like we have to go. It was just so I would encourage everybody to at least do one in person, because it's like, it was like,
wow, that's very cool.
Yep. So I got hooked like everybody else. So yeah.
See, yeah, you got hooked the old-fashioned way.
Yep.
You went.
Yep. I
Uh,
was forced to go. If you got a nerdy friend that you think would enjoy it, drag them along and throw them
mhm.
into it. And yeah, it just turned into like this. Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
funny. Yeah. So then, how did you make the transition from going as your Mecca to being a volunteer?
So
Or I assume you volunteered first before you became an employee. Is that right?
yes,
Or
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yes, yes.
that's a safe
So
assumption.
there was a year. Actually, the epilogue was a video of Jeff going, "Hey, if you had fun, come help us." You know,
Cool.
and then it didn't start out like, oh, dude, we could get a free room. That wasn't in my head. But then it turned out, dude, if I fill a room with my kids that are old enough to also volunteer. So my oldest son, like he had heard Uncle Pete and Dad talk about this crazy thing called True Dungeon
Mm,
so he was begging to go since he was like 12 or something. So he was like, please, please. So I messaged Lori and I was like, hey, I got a kid that will volunteer with me. I swear he's like he's not like a knucklehead or anything, and if he is, never have us back. But he like worked just as hard as anybody, and we purposely asked for epilogue, which is what I think it's one of the coolest spots to volunteer because you get to see everybody come out of the dungeon and they're all pumped and excited, and so it's like one of the best places to. But I mean,
so that was your
for me,
first volunteer role was
yeah.
Epilogue.
Yep, and I loved it so much I stayed there. And then after a while, I always asked for epilogue, because it was just it's like I get a rush when people are happy and it's just fun to be back there. And after a while, Jeff and Lori just had me training people in epilogue, and it
Okay.
just like yeah got so uh, I'm not a good storyteller, so I can't do the DM thing. I
Hmm.
would you guys have seen me as an actor or an NPC. I'm not very good at that either. So the epilogue's where I need to be. So I can customer service and like watch you pull treasure. You know, I can do that, but I don't project well and I can't tell a story. So I needed to stay out of the dungeon. I knew what role was good for me. So
Well,
but yeah,
I
they had me in charge, and I would have like four kids like do an epilogue, and
that covers it.
one kid would be an NPC, and then their fiance is gonna go be a blue hand somewhere. So yeah, like we were like filling up two hotel rooms with volunteers and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
So how long did you volunteer, and how did you make the transition to be an employee?
Well, so as my kids started growing up and leaving the house, my oldest three joined the Air Force. So they went to Korea and Germany and Georgia, and so they were gone, and they couldn't always like come home at Gen Con time.
Hmm.
And I retired from the Air Force, and my wife and I had our youngest, and he had some medical issues. So like the job I had at the time, I burnt through a lot of savings, burnt through vacation days and stuff like that because of that guy, and I wasn't going to be able to make it to Gen Con in 19. And Jeff like emailed me out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, where's the Houghton tribe? We need you guys to volunteer." And
Hmm.
I explained, hey, this is all going on. I don't think I'm going to be able to, and maybe next year, I don't know. But he was like, well, that kind of stinks. What if you had a job that would let you go to all the conventions that you want and play True Dungeon? I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. He's like, well, I'll be in touch. So I was like, okay. And then I get another message a little bit later. It's Jeff and Lori going, "Hey, we'd like to have you. Like, let's get you out here, and so
Wow.
you can like get settled in before Gen Con when we're gonna need you." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So,
And
yeah,
this is 2019.
19, yeah, because I had been
Wow.
volunteering since I think 11 or 12. I don't. remember, but yeah,
Wow.
they so as it like it's I had to explain to my wife like what was going on. She was like not too keen on it. Like we're gonna move to where? And yeah, so like please, please, please. So I have
I'll do the dishes.
yep. So I probably like to uproot everything and move to rinky dink little Carbondale, Illinois. I got the coolest wife in the world, so she's pretty awesome.
Wow.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I would yeah. I have yeah. I'm like yeah blessed. I like under the lucky star like because I think a lot of people like play and kind of daydream that what would it be like to like do that all the time, and I get to live that every day. So we
Hmm.
like we're working on sets for March and April and stuff like that, and it's gonna blow you away. It's like some crazy stuff that Jeff's got dreamed up. So I'm really excited for what you guys get to do. I get to do it every day, but I'm glad we get to share it with you. So if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, you are literally preaching to the choir here. Speaking of the choir, let me check in with the choir here. So Kuzik says Heroescape. Was the game called Heroescape?
It was.
There we
Yep.
go. So Kuzik
Yep.
nailed it. And Kuzik also says bring back Grenel's first dungeon. So, put that into the suggestion box.
Bring back. Oh, that would the Deadwill Mine, I believe, because
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
yep, that's
with that pickaxe. I remember that.
yep.
Corey says, and the rest is history. Yep. All right. So we have a question here from Gilstrife. Question: how do you force your friends into volunteer for Gen Con? LOL.
Oh, Gen. So for me, Gen Con was the best place to volunteer because we're always doing the two shift thing. So, yeah,
Mm.
if you look at
You have time off to go hang
yeah,
out.
yeah. So like the yeah. So for me, it was like my whole group would volunteer the same shift or whatever. I mean, obviously the start and end times were a little bit different, but we could like show up as a group, filter out, relieve the epilogue guys early that were on like day shift or whatever. They love that. So usually Kim, she was always on the opposite shift to me for epilogue, but we'd like try to cut them loose a little bit early, and then we'd like get to meet again at the end of the shift and go to Steak and Shake and like, dude, you won't believe what this guy said, and you won't believe that this thing happened and this so and then you also have like the whole next shift to actually run a couple times in the dungeon. So and then I mean the free hotel was just like icing on the cake. That saved everybody $1,000 or so we didn't have to come up with that, so that could all go into go eating a nice steak dinner one night or drinking a lot or which I don't recommend drinking
Yeah,
a
you
lot
probably
before
shouldn't drink too much before a shift, right?
yeah.
This
Or during or yeah
during. Oh my God.
no
Oh,
no
naughty
it's
people.
yeah it's hard to run to the beer garden and back to epilogue.
You got 12 minutes. Make it fast.
Yep.
So you have spoke of all this very passionately, and that's a very common theme, I think, in the True Dungeon community. The fans are almost rabidly passionate, and I totally get that. But for someone who's never heard of True Dungeon, how would you describe it?
So in the early Gen Con years, when my group would be at Steak and Shake after our midnight shift or whatever, we got out of there, and we'd all be in the True Dungeon T-shirts and stuff like that, and people would be like, "What is that? I heard about it, but I never." So like, you would get an entire, nine or 10 people like all like jumping on this guy going, dude, it's like a haunted house but like a walkthrough video game, but at the same time you're doing this and then you got to solve puzzles, so it's kind of like an escape room, but then you got this going on. And so I don't think you have to experience it. I don't think there's a way to describe it. I can't like my
Really?
wife is
Okay.
my wife has never played, and she asks like, "What do you guys do?" I'm like, "I don't think I've tried to explain it to you, and you're just it's not until you like walk in there and you see like the fog creeping in and the weird prop or the weird lights and the music's going, it doesn't click. But once you're in there, then it's like, oh yeah, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah, yeah. There's some amazing moments to be had. Okay, all right. So let's see. We got a question here from the audience. What's your favorite token from 2023?
Oh man. I think that and I know this is one with a lot of not controversy, but like people are like, but I think the path of enlightenment or path to enlightenment, because you're going to get to throw your name on a token when it's said and done. And I've been begging, not begging, but I like kind of nudge the boss. I think that's like a really cool thing, like for the diehard fans, because the arcane recipes are kind of on the back burner. So I think it would be really cool, like to have your name on a token forever, even if you give it to somebody or whatever. You're always so like kind of like a memoriam, I guess, but like no matter what, forever you're on that token. So I mean, you could like disappear for a couple of years and come back and it's still got your name printed on it. So I that's probably my favorite, like collectible wise, I guess, for just like giggles and stuff. Obviously the Gruntle funnel, because the pointy stick's kind of funny too. I like that one.
The pointy stick is funny. Yeah. Speaking of Gruntle, Jeff321 says, "Were you the original Gruntle from VTD3, and did you create the character?"
Nope. So Gruntle is actually a mix of every. But we refer, like my little clique refers to Gruntle as they, because Gruntle has had so many people play that part. So in reality, my son was dressed up as Gruntle in a promo shot. So technically, I guess Matthew would be the original Gruntle, but we didn't even show Gruntle. We showed the shadow of him like working in the mines.
Okay. And
so I think that's so maybe he's the original Gruntle. For VTD2, I threw on the outfit because we still had it like laying around, and I was messing with parties and stuff. So he got named Charlie by I believe Raven and Kim named him Charlie.
Okay, makes perfect sense.
Yep. So and then I think I followed a couple groups and was just like pestering them because they had played a couple times and they were like, we want to do something like weird. So I was like, oh, okay, well, how about a goblin follows you along and cuts the rope on the bridges and stuff like that, and you can't kill him?
Yeah.
How about that? So, and then then Gruntle appeared the following month, I think. Yeah. And I think the original NPCs that ran him in the room, it was Sage. So Sage is super talented, been done a lot of stuff for True Dungeon, played like all kinds of parts. Actually, I think Sage was a golem for our last VTD. And then Aaron, my nemesis, Aaron Taylor.
He's the worst, by the way.
He is. Yeah. So yep. So and then it just ballooned from there. It like it's an easy costume or Gruntle is an easy person or goblin to have around during virtual. So Gruntle just like it was like more and more Gruntle things, I guess. And Gruntle would follow along on some of the really epic, weird, crazy runs and stuff, and just pop in from time to time, and it just ballooned. People started asking for Gruntle. Is Gruntle going to come? Or
So speaking of virtual, you started in 2017 when playing, and eventually volunteered, and then you became an employee officially in 2019, and then we know what happened in 2020. So virtual started. How has virtual been for you?
I so for me, virtual is awesome. Yeah, I get to see like because I get to kind of step aside and I'm not in the dungeons and for checking on lighting and stuff. I mean, we get it built and it's like ready to go. We have a crew come in, they run it. I don't yeah. So for me, it's easy and I get to like see more people and like I can like follow more parties and kind of interact with people and I get like a detailed report from the epilogue guys like, hey, this is I don't know if you guys know it, but epilogue Andrew is taking all those notes and he's jamming.
Yeah, we know. They asked for our opinions. Yeah.
Yep, he's jamming that to me, Jeff, Dan, Lori, and we're like, if it's something we can act on, we're like on it right away. Like sometimes like people get a bad puzzle and they're like, I don't like this puzzle. Well, that's not something that I'm gonna, let's see, maybe, this is impossible, or so that poor guy, he's got to filter like so much of that and then get it to us. And but yeah, but we get to read that and like if it's something silly that we can fix, we fix it, and hopefully you guys have a better time because of it. So my hat's off to him because like he's got to hear that over and over every 12 minutes over and it yeah, so yeah, but yeah, so be nice to him, please. We want to keep him around. We want to keep him around. He's a good volunteer. So
Epilogue Andrew is great.
Yeah.
All right, so let me check the amazing story. And so Phil says it's an amazing story and glad you ended up here. And someone named Lori Martin said you just can't explain our job.
See, you can't. Like one day we're, I don't know, one day we're building a set and then the next day we're like, painting something that's gonna, it
is pretty cool. I tried to convince my wife to move to Carbondale. It's not going well. So, as soon as she, has had enough of me and kicks me out, maybe I'll come, move in with you.
I got a couch.
I'm sure you do. I mean, all those kids leaving. Corey says that 2019 was his first TD. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Gilstrife says 2017 when TD was doing a demo at PAX South was his first. Rest in peace, PAX South. Yeah. Snake Eyes. Hey, hello, Snake Eyes. Loves HeroScape. And let's see. Gilstrife has the first part and is saving up for 2 and 3 and 4. Can't wait to get it for the RingCon. RingCon's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Phil says that he helped name Grunnell's funnel. So that's awesome. Hashtag Team Grunnell.
I had nothing to... I just walked in on token development and saw that, and I was like, "What? You guys are
really?
crazy!"
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The pointy stick, we actually like sent some of those out as a joke.
I know, I got one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah. I think we followed a group in combat, or Grunnell was. Yeah. I think the epic weird was keep Grunnell alive, and he was part of the combat.
Yeah,
so,
and you said you had a stick, and you were fighting with the stick, and then it became a token. How crazy is that?
I know. It's crazy.
That's pretty nuts. That's one of my favorites for sure. And let's see, where are we at? Kuzik says, I have my Grunnell funnel and Onyx all ready to go. Path is the last piece I need for my 2023 collection. God, that's a good one to get. Definitely get it. Gilstrife says, is Grunnell actually Gib-Gub in disguise? What? How's that even possible?
I think you're going to see Gib-Gub again. I hate that guy. I hate him.
You hate Gib-Gub? So let me see if I can find. Do I have Gib-Gub here? Do I have Gib-Gub? Oh, give me a second here. This might be worth it. Let's see if this works. What? Gib-Gub! What? I mean, why would you hate Gib-Gub?
Bad blood right there.
How can you hate Gibka? All right, so Phil says VTD when Gruno kept getting drunk and followed us through the whole dungeon was hilarious. That's great. Oh, I think that was Francis making an appearance.
Yep.
And now someone says, someone named Jeff Martin says, John is Gruno in disguise. Truth. I mean, there you go. Doesn't get any more commanding than that. Tom says Gruno's costume is falling apart then. And we got another fan of Andrew. Oh, Fred Kessler. The beard makes the human costume work. Okay, so Brad, Gabriel, John, he says, can you help me in my quest to get a TD event in Australia, please? I promise to buy out a couple of runs.
Oh, yeah, it might be a demo, though. And I might be the only one there, so...
Well, he'll buy out the demo runs then?
Okay, well...
You know,
some $1,000 demos.
Would I go to Australia if you were just doing a demo? Would I go? I don't know. I'd have to check with the wife. Maybe.
If it was a free trip, I would. Yeah, I'd live on the street for a week. I don't care.
I'd probably have to pay for my trip. But yeah, that would be. I've never been. Ooh, what if I convince you to go with her, or for her to come with me, and we can make it a vacation? All right, Jen, think about Australia. All right, so Phil says 2005 was his first TD. Whole party died but him, and had to solve the last room with them all pounding on the walls as ghosts. Poor Phil. Yeah, it was so I've heard some bloodbaths in the beginning. Casey
Smoke
says yeah, Smoke. I hear a lot of horror stories from Smoke. Oh, so you were probably playing at that time, and
2007. Yeah. So Smoke would have been 10, I think, 2010. Somebody with a better memory.
Before my time, so I don't remember, but I've heard of Smoke.
I'm old. Somebody will correct me, but I think it was 10. But
10 probably would work.
Or 9.
Or 10. It's either 9 or 10 because he was wearing a ring of wizardry, and I think that's a 2009 token.
Yep. It's probably 9, and then she came back as a Dracolich maybe in 10. But yeah, that was so. My brother and I played that one.
Falcor says 2009. That makes sense because of the ring of wizardry.
Yep. We got destroyed like so fast, and like immediately, like on the laptop trying to get like tickets so we could like face her again. It was like crazy. Yeah, we were. I was like, what? She was brutal. That was
amazing.
That was a
come
tough
back
fight.
around. Yeah, there's replayability in True Dungeon for sure. All right, let me see if I can catch back up here. Started with Casey started with VTD 1A and 220 or 2020. He blames Fred. Good job. Welcome to the fun. Tom says go Team Gibgob. A Finchel says Team Francis Gibgob sucks. Tom says Gibgob is the Squirrler Witch, final boss of Tomb of Terror. Don't give Jeff ideas. And here we go to a question. Steve, hello, Steve. Steve, I'll answer your other thing for Facebook later. I was busy doing this. Do you have a puzzle? Here's a question from Steve. Do you have a puzzle or room that you just dreaded due to problems? Interesting.
For like
room.
For like virtual, like
maybe he didn't say, so maybe virtual or physical.
That I dreaded.
Puzzle or combat room.
The floor. I was not dreaded. I was scared that the angle on the camera wasn't wide enough for like one of the floor puzzles one time. But I mean you guys know to tell the golem what to do. So I mean, I don't think I dread. As a player, I was definitely fighting Smoke again. But, God. It was
he's a dragon, right? So dragons are bad.
She was a baby dragon and still like slaughtered us. Yep.
Simple adventurers.
So, but as dreading going into as a player, even no,
okay.
No, I don't think I. No.
So Brad says, Trent, you would for a unique token. Talking about Australia.
Oh,
Yeah, you're probably right. Or, so,
we're only going to make 3 of them. So.
Oh, okay. So the Australian tokens. Okay, you're right. I'll go. Chris volunteers to work at it. Sean says he was TPK'd for smoke.
Yep.
And 2000. So Phil says 2009 was smoke and came back as a lich in 10 and 11.
Yep.
Kuzik says the worst enemy as a player is the clock. True. That's very true. So speaking of things that you dreaded, how about we look at the very opposite of that? I hope this works. There was some technical issues before, but let's see if it works. I'm about to show you the most amazing moment in true dungeon history, not just virtual. True dungeon history from 2003 to this moment right now. The most amazing moment. Let's give it a watch here.
Nope.
What's that? Over your shoulder. Who are you calling?
The Kraken.
Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
I didn't need stitches or anything after that.
Oh my God. I saw that for the first time going through, and I thought, did he just jump out the damn window? And then the NPC comes on. Did he just jump out the damn window? Man, I will fight anyone to the death that says that that's not the most amazing moment in true dungeon history.
No, it's one of the corniest.
It's the best thing I've ever seen since the beginning of time. Tell us everything you can about that. What was the plan? What was there anything beside there? Tell us everything, please.
So I'm sitting in the set. I mean, I can
Is
show
that the
you. window
behind you there? Behind there?
It's still broken. So we. I don't think I don't know. We were just like rambunctious that day, and it was like, hey, what if he jumped out the window? I don't know. It was a Jeff Martin spur of the moment thing.
One of those things. So it wasn't planned. It was a spur of the moment. How about?
I think it was kind of planned, but not explained. Like,
okay.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna have him jump through a window. Oh yeah, okay, sure we are. Like, let me go back to work. No, really, you're gonna have to like.
And if it's not obvious, that was you. You were playing Bad Eyed Boggs at that moment, right?
Oh, that was me. I hit my head and I forgot. So
you broke so many safety rules there. As someone who's done little films in the past, it's a very unsafe set. By the way, there's no way that was a safe set.
There was a curtain on the floor back there. We were good.
A curtain. An eighth of an inch piece of cloth.
I'm joking. No,
there was nothing. It was just a hard floor.
we had a film crew, and I think it was. Now that I look at it, I should have just like did a one. But I was like, I think I was talking. I was like, so when do I go? Does it look good? So I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just jump through the damn window.
Yeah,
like,
just do it.
So that's why there's like me. Yeah,
it's great. I swear.
I think somebody was making like old antique car noises when I was, pretending to blow on the horn, and so it was like, ooga. Yeah, I work with a bunch of clowns, so. You can imagine, yeah. Every day is like that though, so it's crazy. So.
Well, be careful. Yeah, put a pad back there next time and be a little more safe. Okay, so let's see if the chat agrees with me. This is the best moment ever. Let's see So Kuzik says that's the best. Corey, Lori likes it. Kuzik's like, oh my God, that was you. Steve agrees it was great. Belinda says that it made her laugh every time. Me too. I mean, I did that run Every single time, it made me laugh. But the first time was, what did I do? What just happened? There's nothing so energetic or so tactile. I mean, it's just never. It's just the biggest thing that's ever happened. Usually, True Dungeon things is there's a self-contained area. This is where the NPC is, or maybe they're following you around, or a little bit of walking in the room. Go attack this thing here. But oh man, it was great. So Lori says, I was like, wait, you're going to what now? I guess talking about when it happened.
Yep.
And Phil says as soon as he saw that, he knew the Kraken was showing up. Yeah, I felt like something. I thought it was going to be a giant octopus. Okay, so Tom says, all actors can't be good as Trent. I love his shorts. Corey, I remember thinking, why is he looking out the window like that? Then the fool jumps through. LOL. So Lori wouldn't even put a crash mat on the other side. I agree, Lori. They should have done that. Don't tell OSHA. Okay, we won't tell OSHA. OSHA, if you're watching, everything was done safely. We're just joking. Lori says horrible management. Don't tell Lori that. Fred says really should have done an outtake version where he started Miles Davis riff. Yeah, that would have been cool. And Jeff says it was safe. There was bare concrete floor to land on. There we go. It was safe. Snake Eyes also loved it. And Lori says you'll all be shocked to know our workman comp insurance went up 35% this year.
See?
See what happened? My God. Oh my Lord. So speaking of seeing cool things, you sent me some photos here. I'd like to go through those photos. And if anyone in the chat has any questions, please type question and then your question, and I'll try to eyeball them. What are we looking at here? This looks like Happy Time to me.
I think that's 21. That's pre-orders going out. I think Jeff posted that on Facebook. But
okay.
it's kind of an assembly line. And for the I hope, knock on wood, that we're accurate most of the time. But yeah, so it's just like we do them kind of in little clusters, and that case right there is full of the current years. Yeah, current year, previous year ultra rares, so we can like pull real quick and everything.
Wow.
There's the dragon orbs and
I know. Let me see if I can zoom in there a little bit here.
It might be one of yours.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's mine. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of orbs. It's a lot of dragon babies.
So that well, actually, since that's on there, that's what the RFIDs look like. So
okay, sure, cool.
So if you see a little bump in your dragon orb, it's got a sticker underneath it that's tells
the
us.
bump. Wow.
Yep.
And what's going on here?
I think that is that's 19, I believe. That's where was that? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Looks like Gamehole.
It is. So they had a Halloween in 19, I think. So we were like encouraging kids to come trick or treat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think that probably would have been either 18 or well, I guess 19. It's probably 19.
They had to put the good-looking people up front to give out candy, and
so this is the back, clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
Thank you. I'll be here all day.
So that's one of my counterparts there, Danny.
Yeah.
So I had the allergy-free, so I think I had like sticky hands and googly eyes and spider rings or something, and she had all the good. She had all the good stuff. So.
Yeah. So clearly, now speaking of good stuff, what are we looking at here?
So when did we do the beggar? If you remember a virtual
21 maybe.
When or which I don't remember.
I think
was it
it's
7?
21.
Maybe it was 7. Maybe.
Oh, you're talking about which event? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah. So I begged Jeff to put me in as a beggar, and he finally okay, and so he had this. Wait, it didn't get used. The ship passages didn't get used how we were gonna do it because some other stuff happened. But yeah, that's so you had the option to give the beggar one of your treasure chips, and in return, you got a ship silver ship passage to Mirthwood.
Right.
Which
But none of us knew that. We just
yep.
you were
So
just helping out a beggar.
yep, and
That was cool.
we had like so when I pitched the idea, we had like a lot of things that we were gonna like curse you guys and do all kinds of, but yeah, I'm a yeah. So we talked them into doing that instead. And so now you guys get like a special event at RingCon,
I know.
like a single room or to be determined. I don't think I don't think there's definite plans on it yet because we're still working some of what we're gonna do with that. So if you got
Sure.
if you got a ship's passage or Mirthwood, hold on to it, especially if you're coming to Skull or damn
Rincon. Yeah,
RingCon.
yeah. Jeff
There's
has
too many of them.
announced. Yeah, Jeff has announced that at Rincon, this token will grant you entry into a 12-minute little mini adventure.
Yep.
So that's what that is. That's what he's officially said, and that's what I've heard. I haven't heard
Cool.
anything beyond that. Now, I'll only ask because people will say, "Oh, why didn't you? Why didn't you ask?" There's another ship's passage token.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
well,
Hold on. I would probably hold on to those.
What's up with that token, man? Come in. Just between me and you, nobody's watching. This show is just, I'm not even recording right now. I mean, come on. It's
If
just us.
if I could tell you
yeah,
if I could even hint at what it
yeah.
without ruining it, I don't
on.
want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it.
I know. I don't want you to ruin it either.
It'll
All
be
right.
cool. They are making
Whatever it is, it's going to be cool.
that.
Speaking of cool, who are these two yo-yos?
So that would be January of last year, Aaron's birthday, and it's going to happen again Monday for next event. That the kid up front with the happy birthday hat is Aaron Taylor, one of my Gollum extraordinaires.
So he's the
and
worst, right? That's the one we don't like. We don't like him, right?
He is. He is.
Okay, great.
He's the worst. The kid holding the banner is my second son, kid number 4. That's Matthew.
Okay,
Proud of
him
him.
we like. We like Matthew.
Yeah, he tends to do a good job. He's a mechanical engineering student here in Carbondale and doing
Wow.
well. So he helps out with all the virtuals. You guys probably see him fire up the cameras if you're in there in the waiting area or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Or,
Right.
yeah, you'll see his mug. He's like the Gollum wrangler.
That's the beginning of the Gollum. So speaking of kids, I mean, is this another one of your cute munchkins?
Yep, that's my youngest daughter. She's 7 now, but sometimes
Wow.
for
So
fun.
maybe 2 here. She looks what? Maybe 2?
I think that's
3, 4?
2 years. That might be 2 years ago. So she might,
okay.
yeah, she might be 5-ish.
Oh, I guess I'm a terrible judge of kids' ages then. So
Yeah,
clearly, this is a child labor issue here. You guys
But
have got
it's-
a lot of OSHA problems.
but it's not because if she doesn't sticker 500 of those, a unicorn dies.
So that's. Is this also why the stickers are usually not straight? You know,
If you
they're
get them
usually askew.
sideways or upside down, I probably had help doing it. So,
Okay.
Yep. No,
Ah.
she actually loves it. And, she'll like once in a while I'll bring her on a tour here, but we also have another warehouse off site, and that's where she knows that we keep all the dragons and monsters and unicorns
Cool.
and stuff. So, yeah, but yeah,
Wow.
she's a sweetheart. So
Speaking of dragons,
Ah!
are you a D&D fan? I've never asked you this.
So I grew up in the weird time where it was parents were scared to let your kids play D&D, so I wasn't
Okay.
allowed to have it in the house or anything like that. So all of 90% of my D&D experience is homebrew or borrowed and with other people. So I wasn't allowed to have any of that in the house. So it's kind of weird. My younger brother that introduced me to True Dungeon was he was part of that. So we would have to like sneak over to a friend's house and we grew up in a kind of poor neighborhood. So it was like if you had one module, you were lucky, and you would rip off from that and make your own. And so it was like a whole bunch of homebrew stuff. So when you got the D&D nerd boss that I have, and he's like spewing stuff about first edition and all these weird monsters and stuff, I'm like, what are you talking about? I had like very cut and dry orcs. We're gonna fight, orcs, or these evil elves, or we're gonna do this wizard. Or he brings up some crazy critters that I didn't know existed. So
I think he was allowed to play growing up.
Yeah.
Let me jump to the chat real quick here. Kuzik says the treasure this last VTD, which was 2023 treasure. I think everybody knows that. So he says that the treasure was amazing. Can we expect the rest of this year to be similar? I assume he means the quantity of the upper level things was higher than normal.
Yes.
Is that what we can expect for the rest of the year?
Yes. So the boss and I sat down and kind of looked at it, and so we kind of it's a little bit different than when I first got here. So now every bucket of treasure has its own set, like good awesome stuff. So it's like everything is going to be identical all the way through the year. So yeah. If that, wow. I don't know if that answers that. So
I think it does. So yeah, Jeff mentioned that in the last show that he was going to as kind of a 20th anniversary thing. So
yep. So last year there was like some buckets that had an orange and some buckets were heavy with like relics and stuff like that. This year, I don't know if any of them have got out, but like there's a bunch of old the older legendaries and stuff.
He mentioned that as well. So some of the older tokens. I heard someone I think in the forum say they got, I can't remember what it was, but it was an older token. I don't think it was a legendary, but I think it was a relic, an older relic. Or is it only older legendaries that are in the mix?
Don't hate me. I know Jeff said that we'll get some of the old relics out there or trickle them in. But they were brittle, and when I threw them through the cement mixer, I destroyed a bunch of relics. Yeah. So
that's weird. They were brittle.
Yeah. So there's like certain years of tokens. Like if you drop I think it's 12 maybe. If you drop it, you got a good chance of shattering and
I know what you mean, because I've got one of each, and some of them do break, and I have them shipped to me, and they arrive broken. So I know.
I pitched the idea of putting them on blue backs, but he doesn't want to cause a headache for like diehard collectors, like trying to track down, because then so that would probably be really brutal for some people. So what I'm gonna talk to him some more and see if we can add a little bit. I don't know, as people turn in recipes for old legendaries or whatever, just start chucking those back into a treasure or whatever, just so they can kind of get recycled. But don't be mad. It's my fault. So
understood. That's fine. So the amazing treasure.
But it should be. It should be good for the.
That's great. I think it's a wonderful thing to do for the 20th year. Bertha Waffles would like more curses, by the way. So see what you can do.
I'll see what I can do. But man, that might have to wait a year. Sorry.
Okay. So I hear some THAC0 in here. THAC0 or Bust, 20th anniversary. People are very excited about the extra treasure. Kuzik says one of his group got a Seals Anointed Redoubt Mel. That's probably what I'm thinking about, that I heard about that one.
Yeah, because yeah. So where we mix treasure and stuff, it's kind of like preloaded in buckets. So all the ultra rares and relics and um, have the stalker things been announced?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just making sure. So some of those got mixed in, and
Yeah, I had some close, but I think I put them away. Yeah.
well, what they turn into?
No, that has not been announced. So you might get in trouble if you announce that here, unless you can.
Okay. Anyway, some of those are in treasure, and
Yeah,
you might.
Yeah,
So-
people have already. I've already gotten. Well, yeah, I'm close to having all that I need. Chris asks, "Hello, Chris. How high of a relic are you going, and does it include the combo versions?" I guess sounds like he might be missing some combos.
Oh yeah. So yeah, if the if the boss will let me. If the boss will let me, yeah, I'd put anything in there because it on the old relics are they're on yearless backs, so yeah we could probably add some to the treasure mix, so that are not gonna disintegrate as soon as unless you guys want relics with like chips all over them. I could send those out, but I don't think you want those.
Right. Oh, you know what? The chat is reminding me that those Stalker beads have been announced. They're on TokenDB and what they do as well.
Oh, okay,
So-
okay. So
yeah,
there are
there's two beads. Like,
Yep.
is there a caster bead and then a strength bead?
yeah. When we were talking, I was like, just token design. It was like, what are we gonna do that's really cool for next year? I was like, what about something for the magic users and something for the fighter types. So that should be like how it's kind of split. So
That's yeah. And what's cool about the beads, and I think other people will agree, they're alphabetically numbered the right way. So now we can say number one, and it's the first of the alphabet, because it was really hard to trade and talk about the other tokens.
oh,
On
the
last
totem.
year's 40, yeah, the
Yep.
totem of heroism,
Yep.
and this is, and you could each of them you can do something with it, which is
Yeah,
another
so
cool feature. I
that-
think people
that-
like that.
Yeah, that was the boss. So
Yeah, so that's
Yep.
a great touch.
Yep.
Yeah, so the relic beads. So I've got a couple more photos I want to go through here. What in the world are we looking at here?
Some lunatic fan tracked me down at Gen Con and was like, "Hey, I want to give this to the guy that plays Grunnel."
Track
I was
you
like-
down.
Well, he saw the black shirt.
Okay,
So Lori and I are standing there, and I'm like, "Dude, that's me."
that's
so-
so funny.
Yes.
Let me zoom in a little bit here. And they gave you this this shirt here.
And he's watching right now. So yep. So I purposely when people like give like crazy stuff like that, I try to like make sure that I'm wearing it at least during like one day during the virtuals and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Make sure that, hey, I still appreciate this. I love this shirt. I didn't wear it today, but I probably will wear it one day in January. So no, our fan base, you guys, we got some passionate players that just like
Yeah.
they blow my mind. Like, so at I made a comment about I like the edges of brownies on Discord, and so I had brownie edges with M&Ms and brownie edges like and custom made brownie pans and cheesecake like at Gamehole Con, people were just like dropping this stuff off. It was yeah, I was stuffed to the gills with brownies, and I was still eating brownies like a week after.
Oh my
So,
lord.
Don't yeah. So
Be
anybody
careful
that
what you say you like, you know.
yeah, well, no, it was it was heartwarming that people would come up and go, "Hey, I love what you do. You guys are awesome. I made you the edges of a brownie pan." It's like, dude, it
That's
doesn't get
cool.
any better than that. It's like,
That is
yeah,
cool.
it is. I love all of our players. So
That's
Yep.
cool.
and not just because you give me brownies. I legitimately love talking to you guys when I can. So
Well,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how many people know this, but periodically I'll see you running through different curtains and stuff. One of my fondest memories is we were in a transition hallway about to go into another one, and I was up front, and you came in. At least I thought it was you. You had like a draped black curtain or something over you, so I couldn't really tell who it was. And you're like, alms for the poor, and I was like, oh crap, I don't have any gold. Does anyone have any GP on you? And I think somebody did, and they gave it to me, and I handed it to you, and then you slapped my hand, and I thought, oh wait, okay, so he doesn't want that, but about a different token or something. And then you ended up giving me something, and I think it was you had heard me saying that I was looking for something, and then you just kind of made it part of the event, and I thought, what a sweet cool guy. So I think I speak for everybody when we just love that we're passionate about your dungeon, but I think you're passionate, and your passion is clear to us about how much you enjoy doing what you do, which is for our enjoyment. So it's just a this type of relationship is like continuous. We're always energetic and happy and passionate, and so are you, and then it just keeps going. I think we could power a whole town with our energy and passion. So it's right back at you, baby.
Awesome.
So let's see if what we got here going on in the chat. Kuzik says, oh God, that's me.
Yeah.
So that's John.
Surprise!
So
you're on
Surprise!
YouTube.
I hope you don't mind being on the show. And Belinda agrees. Bless whoever decided to make the stalker items alphabetical. Kuzik says, Lori did it. I had no idea. Lori grabbed me. Okay. Chris says, how did the Gruntle thing start? I need to know if it has not been answered yet. And hello, Trent. Hello, Chris. Yeah, it was an NPC. It was just in one of the dungeons, right? Is there any other things you can add about the Gruntle beginning?
There was a puzzle room, and we needed we needed a NPC in the puzzle room because you were manipulating these to spell a word. I don't know if you remember that crazy puzzle.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you had to make them into letters.
So it just whatever is in Jeff's head that makes him like, it'd be cool if the evil bad guy had like goblins working for him and stuff. So
and the rest is history. There we go.
Yep.
Let's see. Lori says always her fault. True. Snake Eyes is a fan of corner brownies. Lori loves the fact that the shirts were made.
I didn't send you a picture, but there's new ones coming out.
Well, yeah, actually, that's about the comment I'm about to read. Kuzik says we'll definitely have something new for MomoCon. It's in the works.
There's somebody sent me a. There's one that says it's got a Gruntle's mug on it, and then it's like sponsored by Team GibGub or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
But crud. I should have sent you a picture and the link, because all the proceeds, I believe, are for a charity. So,
but interesting.
If you see a T-shirt with Gruntle's mug on it, that's
well, for all of the post after this, I'll post this everywhere. So whoever has that, just add it to the link, and it will be there for everyone.
Cool.
So let's see. Phil says, agree. John helped me get the last gem I needed. So we got another fan there with a thank you. Snake Eyes says, seriously, John, thank you for adding another layer of fun to this awesome game. Lori says, John is the epitome of what Jeff wants TD to be about. We do it because we enjoy making me happy. I agree with Lori. And Kuzik says, different group. I'll find the link. Chris says, I knew he was in a dungeon, was wondering how he became more than the one room in the dungeon, if you know. How did he become more than one room? Than one room. One room.
I don't think I think that was your first epic weird, and we were like, because
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
believe
he
you
followed us
guys.
around.
Yeah, you guys, you and your crew had the last run, and you had played like every 2 hours the whole weekend or
Pretty
whatever.
much.
So we were like chatting at the end of like Saturday or Friday or something. I don't remember, but you were like,
Yeah.
man, it would be cool if we could do something different. So we drug out every prop that we had, and we like gave you 6-minute rooms. I don't know if you remember, but
Of course I remember. Yeah.
every room was like 6 minutes, and then it was like we
it was
just
constant battles, so many different. Yeah.
I think it was Brandon Lapsley was your DM, and we just threw him into the fire. It was like, what? We're like, just be ready, man. It's going to be like 6-minute rooms. Just like make up combat stats on whatever.
Yeah.
So we were like throwing robots at you, and
It was
like,
crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah.
but and then it turned into Gruntle was like tagging along, and you guys had to keep them alive, and then
Yeah.
it just you guys I think it was Ed Stallnacker was like, hey, you should where's
Yeah,
that
Edwin.
goblin guy, you know?
Yeah. Edwin was nuts. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so he's the reason that Gruntle exists. So it's not
Yeah.
True Dungeon. It's Ed Stallnecker that caused Gruntle to like become a recurring character, I think.
yeah.
Especially
once he latches on to something, yeah, he gets pretty crazy about it. So Chris, it's basically the same thing that happened to you, but you're a real person. So we drug Chris through one of the runs. I think it was 2018. So the same thing kind of happened with Gruntle, and the rest is history. So Kuzik says all profits from True Dungeon items are donated to support the Mid Ohio Food Bank. Very cool. Matthew says, hi, Gruntle's friend. Just got back home. I wanted to say hi. Hi, Matthew. Casey says, Gruntle, beer, bread, and Dark Rift.
yes.
Phil says, Gruntle killed the Bogwood Beast by throwing spiders at it. Pretty much. And Chris remembers us dragging him through. So let me go to, I have a couple more photos here. What in the heck is this?
So prior to Epic Weird, that we must have done this around December or something. I don't know why I would have that here unless I was doing like a weird Christmas joke or something. It's a generic onesie that's got like the Christmas Story logo on it, like Little Ralphie
Funny.
or whatever. But I think I was dressed up. Somebody made a joke. Maybe that's what it was. Somebody was making a joke during the event about a pink rabbit, and I was like, "Oh, guess what? I have that. I'm gonna bring it in tomorrow, and I'm gonna."
It's so nuts. Yeah.
So we had a bunch of golems at the time that did not like me running through their through. they were trying to be serious and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, crawling in there as a pink rabbit and making jokes, and anyway.
What-
So
Yeah.
that room was Thornbarb Pass, the second room where you had to line up all the mead cups.
Right.
That with the
Yeah.
there were some kind of like this, but they had like the
Yep.
So so I'm between two barrels of booze or something. So getting ready to drink some booze. I
Oh
don't.
my God.
You asked for photos. I was like, this is a weird ass.
Well, here's another completely normal photo. Is this you going through like the multiple person lane? Is that what's happening here?
So during the pandemic, I guess everybody knows, I guess, that we were like trying to draw down because we had a big presence in a warehouse, and we had to like shrink it down because we were looking at mothballing True Dungeon for a couple months or whatever. And this is one of the props that I was like taking over to the warehouse from Carbondale, and I just left it in my vehicle for a while, and it was just it was comical to like see people like, what the heck is
It
going
is
on?
definitely comical.
Yep.
So speaking of comical, first a warning. I'm not sure what type of delay there is. There's probably like a 5 seconds delay. So if you're watching this now, in 5 seconds you're going to hear this. Look away from the screen. If you are easily if your stomach gets easily upset. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look away now. What in the world? I mean,
Come on. What? I'm so confused. What's happening here?
Okay.
what's going on here?
One of our awesome NPCs, so Lily Mace. If you remember the very first virtual that we did, she was a up and coming young actress, and we like did like a puzzle room, and we were like, hey, she would be awesome if she dressed up like a wood fairy and introduced them like
Bella.
to this. Yep.
I have the costume that
So
Brandon made for
so
the
when
exhibit one day.
yep. Well, you probably don't have her original wings because
No, I don't. There, he told me that the wings disappeared. that I don't have the wings. I just have like the outfit.
So during teardown of that room, I found her wings like in a corner,
Oh
and
my god.
obviously the hair is crazy. Like remember 2020, like all the barber shops were closed and you couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I had like crazy hair going on, and yeah, it was just like
my
I
God.
wanted to be a wood fairy for a day. I don't.
You were something for a day. By the way, the rest of this is even more hideous. So I still have nightmares. So speaking of kissing things, you clearly like to kiss things. What's happening here?
Believe it or not, Lori does let us take vacation, and I took the kids to a petting zoo, and yeah, so I can't remember where it was. I'm drawing a blank. I think this is in Wisconsin. There's like a giraffe. I think you can feed a giraffe. Like you donate $1 and they give you a bunch of leaves and you can feed a giraffe or whatever. And
Cool.
I was showing my kids that they don't have to be scared of like llamas and alpacas and stuff like that. You can. So yeah, I was like, this is. I grew up kind of. Yeah, my teen years were on a farm, so doing farm work and stuff. So it was
Mhm.
yeah. And I had seen Kiss a Llama, I think through World Builders or something too, and I was like just being a smart
Okay.
ass. I was just being funny.
I like it. Now, you mentioned your kids. I think people might be surprised to hear the answer to this question. How many kids do you have?
67. No, I'm just six. Six.
3 boys, 3 girls, right?
Girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. Yep. Yep.
Oh, my Christmas trees. And speaking of children, I think
So-
these are some of them, right?
Yep. My oldest is Emily. She's in the Air Force, and like my son. So that's kid number 2. That's Jeremiah. He we went down for her graduation, and we were just kind of making fun of her and stuff like that.
Very
But
cool.
then this photo became like kind of tradition. So I'm sure when you show the next one.
Yeah.
It'll,
So speaking of that, I guess the
So-
thumb tradition.
So now the girl, yeah, the girls, that's Emily and Maggie, and they're kind of making fun of him because like he had just graduated basic training, and then Maggie decided that she was going to join. So
Wow.
And
There's lots of thumbs up, and then here's an enthusiastic thumbs up as well.
yep. So Maggie graduated. Matthew, who at the time was still in high school and stuff, he was gonna follow in their footsteps, but when I retired, I still had my GI Bill, and I offered it to him, and he was like, so I could go to school here locally and still work with True Dungeon and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, he's going to be a college student instead. He'll look at the military maybe later, but yeah. So my oldest 3 are all in the Air Force and scattered all over the world. So it's one of the few things that I'll post on Facebook is when I have one of my kids home, because it's really my joy is I love my kids more than anything.
Wow,
So
that's very sweet.
my youngest daughter, you saw her like sticker and XP cards. My son didn't make the slideshow. He's a little goofball, but he is the sweetest little guy ever. So I love him to death. And
That's super
so,
sweet. Yeah, I think it's cool that you are passing along. Clearly, I think they're passionate about their chosen fields as well.
Yep.
So that's
And
very cool.
And if you've been to Gen Con between like 16 and 18 or 16, 17, maybe 15, 16, 17, you would probably have seen at least one of these guys, because
I went to Gen Con in 16 and beyond. So yeah.
the oldest there, she was one of the Valkyries on the Rainbow Bridge.
Okay.
She's done epilogue with me. She was a failing, I think, for Felurian.
Wow.
Matthew is blue-handed. He's been like some of the puppets. Did epilogue with me. Maggie, there in the middle. She was. So we did like at Gamehole Con one year. They did like some retro dungeons, and we were short NPCs.
The snake one.
Yep. So she was like the lizard queen in that, and then she was a drow assassin in another one.
Yeah.
So she's not.
That's
she's
cool.
kind of like me, not really an actor. So she prefers like yeah. Yep. So yep.
Oh wow. Now
I got one sticker in XP cards. Sooner or later,
you're a package deal there.
Yep.
Now. I saw this photo in the newsletter, I think it was.
Yep.
That just came out. Is this the door of many doors?
It is, and it'll look a little bit maybe different for what we're doing. We're still working around that area right now. So
all right, and it's for this Tomb of Terror Chapter 1, right?
Yes.
Oh, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go to td.events. That's the website to purchase your tickets. Chapter 1. Tickets are on sale now. I think I saw a post on the forum. There's not many tickets left. It's January 14th through the 16th, which is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And if you're wondering, hey, what happened to Friday? Well, that's the patron run. So if you are a patron that hasn't gotten your ticket yet, chop.
Hurry up. Yep, do it. That one's gonna last virtual, you kind of got a hint at what's going to be going on there, so you might see Grunnell.
Oh, that's right. At the end we got a hint as to what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I won't say anything in case somebody missed it. So Chris says thank you for your service, and Chris says that's the door that he tried to open. I think we tried to open it too, but I don't think anything happened.
Yeah, it was bad stuff. Except for there was a couple groups that were same thing. They were looking for like a weird token or whatever that I had a copy of, so I might have let somebody open one of the doors and actually get like a goodie out of there. And I think somebody had a birthday or something, so they got a goodie.
That's cool. That how great is that? Yeah.
Yep.
So Fred says,
this time, no, it's like game on now. It's the door of many doors. You're in trouble.
Very interesting door, and the NPC told us to not touch the door, so of course I wanted to touch the door, but now we get to go through the door. I mean, it's awesome
if you unlock it. So
okay, well, yeah, that's
so you
true.
might.
I don't know. We're about to find out how that works.
Just pay attention to your intro for the next event.
We just got a clue.
Oh no, I didn't say anything.
Pay attention to the intro. Somebody write that down.
Okay. Fred says, John, definitely thank you for everything you do. One of my favorite TD runs was when we decided to heed a spirit's advice and leave the dungeon. Grunnell tells us slackers to get back to work. Kuzik says, I only have 4 tickets for that weekend. Had to get patrons so I can help Grunnell. Yes. And Fred says, we had 3 runs in with you in that dungeon. We all used the Reaver Skull figurine on the Reaver Skull in the dungeon. I remember that. Yeah. TPK and ourselves to then have you greet us for our incredible bad idea. Alan, yeah, I know. Fred loves to plan these things and then we do stupid stuff. Alan says, Grunnell, thank you for helping me get into the True Dungeon groove early on. Mm-hmm. Cool. And John says, hi, Trent and John. Hi, John. This is the other John. And
There's a
Alan
lot
says,
of Johns.
yeah.
There's a lot of
and
Johns.
Alan says, "Oh man, we need to pay attention to things." Yes, pay attention. All right, so those are. Let me see. Oh, I knew there's one more thing. Some people have been saying, "Well, what are these Christmas ornaments?" So this is from this year, and this is from last year. If you haven't seen the Christmas ornaments yet, that's what they look like. I've got one from last year and one from this year. What what's going on here? I mean, what are we
That's
supposed
just
to do here?
that's just Gruntle being I don't know. Like not everybody does Christmas, so I can't call it a Christmas ornament. Yeah.
Well, you're standing in front of a Christmas tree, by the way, in both of these photos with Christmas presents, and these are ornaments.
I know.
I'm
I
pretty
know.
sure these are
I know.
Christmas ornaments.
I trickle some of those out, Rand, in like packet just like so if there's an event in December or November next year, I'll probably do another one unless Gruntle gets killed off, which
We must save Gruntle for the yearly Christmas ornament. All right, so final questions. Anybody have any questions for John as we wrap up here?
anything. Anything.
Let's see. John, come looking at them. So Matthew has that ornament hanging on his tree. John says Gruntle can call it Christmas. Paladin guards Gruntle. You're going to be fine. The Paladin's going to guard you. Kuzik says Gruntle will have wish rings burn so fast to resurrect him. John has a potion of death's door. And Thomas doesn't like the idea of killing off Gruntle. So let's see. Let me check my questions here. I think we hit them all. Cool. Someone earlier asked you if you have so I have one final question here, maybe two. And if anyone has a question, say it in chat quick. Someone asked you what your favorite token is for next year. How about your favorite token from the very beginning to now, especially since you've played and volunteered and now?
So it's going to be a tie. So okay, yeah. There's two that I'll be buried with. I'll never release them or do it. So let me get all in 2020 my brother passed from cancer, and Jeff was nice enough to name a rare after him, and I have the promo or the promo version of that. So
that's very sweet.
So when you guys mulch the potion repeat healing, so every time I see that come across, I'm like, oh, my brother's still around. So that's one of them, and then the other one, he was doing a little bit better financially than me in whenever the Ring of Riches came out. We missed the Horn of Plenty. So he sent me the Ring of Riches. So that was my first ultra rare. I got it encapsulated and stuff, and so those two tokens I'll never part. So now there's some other ones that I've seen and there's a so but those are the two that are most.
Well, thank you for sharing that that heartfelt story. I actually knew that already. We talked about this before, so I appreciate you sharing that with everyone.
It's close to that time, so we're coming up on his 2-year anniversary of passing. So it's just holiday illnesses are just the worst. So
they are the worst. It is super sweet of Jeff to make those tokens, and I know those tokens are very special to you. The best was it was a rare, so it got the most distribution out there. So I still have a sleeve of 100. So little sidebar for that token. If you ever find one like at a restaurant or something weird, I gave his girls a sleeve of 100,
And I said, wherever you go and you think about Dad, drop one of these off, because he was like, he was like a silent ambassador for True Dungeon, and that was like the thing that like me and him like, we because so they each so they're well traveled, they're in their teens now, but they like, so they're still like dropping them off, and they'll like send me a picture. Hey, I've left one on the bridge in New Hampshire or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Or so if you ever see one and you're like, a potion repeats healing, especially on the East Coast since that's where they live, but like that was deposited by Pete's girls. So
that's very cool. Wow, that's very cool. Thank you for sharing. And the Kuzik says F cancer.
Yes.
Lori says hell yes. So yeah, F cancer. It sounds like a perfect statement.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
So last chance for anybody that has any questions. And I do have one more. When it comes to, speaking of tokens and treasure, since you played for many years, what was your best treasure pull? Because I usually have pretty bad luck actually pulling from a box.
So
how about you?
This is I don't know if this is going to sound weird or whatever, but like I didn't care about I didn't like so the treasure at the end, I would give that to my kids or my brother. I would like, here's the treasure pulls, because a lot of times you didn't even get the chips. We would like, you would go and pull 3 if remember the old days, there was times we finished the dungeon and it was a goose egg. Zero treasure pulls.
Early days, yeah.
So yeah, I like, but probably a sturge spittle or something. I don't know, like a monster ingredient, because it was like a weird,
a monster bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what is this? So something weird like that. But like, yeah, and then I just got in the habit of giving that away to let my kids do it, and if they get something cool, like there was a year somebody burnt an arcane recipe.
Smack.
Yeah. So
the special box, yeah.
My son pulled like some amazing stuff, and I'm like, what the heck, because I didn't know, So, but yeah, so he pulled a bunch of cool stuff, and I was happy for him. But yeah, so probably a 2007 or 8 monster bit was probably the coolest thing I've ever pulled.
Whatever is cool to you is cool to you, yeah.
But I still like when we set up epilogue, I still have a habit of like do it just to see if I like, do I have any luck? Nope.
Oh yeah, I have notoriously bad luck pulling treasure too. So yeah, I think it's because of this. I think it's the dice gods. They're like, you have enough tokens, no more tokens for you. So it just hit me. You played for many years. What was your favorite class? Did you have a favorite?
I'm one of those weirdos. Like, so remember the first time I went, I picked last because I was like, I didn't want to be there. And I think I played Barbarian my first time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, because it was like that or Bard. I was like, I'm not singing, because in my head,
right.
I was LARPing through. Yeah, I was LARPing through this whole thing. So I was like, no, never. I'm not gonna do it. So, but then as me and my brother would play, I always had like a fighter type and then like leftover tokens. So I always and I would let everybody else pick first. Because I don't. It's not the class. It's like being in there with it.
Right.
And then when I got to bring like more and more of my kids, and we started filling up then I would fight for them. I'd be like, oh well, I know this kid wants to be a monk, and so I would like, there's 2 of us that want to be monk, and I would give it to my daughter, obviously, and so I'm happy with whatever. Like, I'm a horrible rogue. I can't do the rogue box. Yeah. I am the worst wizard ever. So like, if you want a healer, don't drag me along. I can't. I can't do leaves. I can't do beads. So
Well,
as a
everybody, we tell everybody, you know, you still will succeed. You'll just succeed a little better. So it's okay that you don't memorize. But I'm the same way. I was like, memorize stuff. No, you know, because I'm a terrible.
So
terrible
if you ever see me on a pickup game, I'm gonna choose last, and I'll play whatever. I don't care.
So
it's the group. It's
right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But some people, and I get it. Some people are diehard. I am a cleric. I am a paladin. I am good. And I get it. So to make them happier, and it's just easier for me to go. I'll play elf wizard. I don't care. Acid splash.
I always play barbarian, but I can totally play you know other classes if need be. So one more question, maybe two more.
Sure.
From all this time, do you have a token collection? Is it
I
in
do.
a big bag or?
So actually, numerous boxes. So my brother, before he passed, he knew he was coming to the end, so he gave me like all of his HeroScape. He gave me all of his crossbows and catapults that we played as kids. He gave me his token collection, and he wasn't there. Some people buy like a lot from True Dungeon. Some people like go out and buy individually from like resellers and stuff. He was one of those. So I got like globs of tokens from him, and it's just like insane. There's like more than but it's all older than 18. So I don't want to throw it out. I don't. So a lot of people they don't know this, but like I think Phil Norton was talking about having a gemstone.
There was an old gem he was looking for. I didn't have it. I wish I did, but
it was out of my brother's collection. So
that's so sweet.
And at his, I did throw his level. Oh no, I changed my mind on the level 5, the Medallion of Nobility.
Right.
I have his. I was gonna throw it in the casket with him, but instead I did his. He had a bunch of cleric because he played cleric. So there's like every cleric related item that I found in his thing. So that's with him.
That's so sweet.
A D20, a full complement of all the character cards, tucked in at his feet. So wherever he ends up, he can play True Dungeon.
Yeah.
He may have a really small token collection, but he can play True Dungeon.
But we both just said it's not about the tokens; it's about the group. Yeah.
So
that's very, very sweet. All right, so I'm going to check with the chat here. John says that I'm going to go look for all those repeat because I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York. Phil says that was the first year he pulled a relic. Kuzik says bards that play the air guitar are the best. And Thomas says that explains the cursed skull. Have to pick last. Yep. And Phil is thankful for his gem. He didn't know that it came from your brother, so many thanks. And Tom says, John, thank you for sharing your brother's token in the puzzles. And big heart from Lori. So final 2 questions. Number 1, do you have any questions of me that you would like to ask? If not, that's fine. Open book, any question at all.
Yeah, I mean, we talk all the time. So usually at the end of every virtual, or at least sometime during. So I don't. I'm trying to think if there's anything crazy.
It's okay if no.
No. Do you have plans for Gamehole Con this year?
You mean to go?
Yeah. Are we gonna? Yes.
Oh, you mean like the Friday night thing?
Yeah. Well, no. The actually.
The Lounge?
Yeah. And getting it close. So
Gamehole Con, the organization, just emailed all of their marketing list for the people who were on it, the people who or previous sponsors, etc., or people who had signed up. And they also, I think, posted on Facebook as well. So I received that email. And then on the 15th, so I guess 2 days ago, I think the email was on the 15th, and they said the next day or something like that. And then I went, you're supposed to, apply. So you fill out the form and say, I want this, this, and that, and the other. But they already know what I want, because I told them I want the same thing every year. So I will be a sponsor for the whole convention. That's one thing. And then I'll also sponsor the Friday night beer keg reception, like I do every year on Friday. And now the new thing is Trent's Lounge, because True Dungeon moved, and there was going to be no tables and chairs. And when I mentioned that to Alex and his crew, and I said, well, how about I just sponsor tables and chairs? I really, because I think they said, oh, we'll get some tables and chairs there, or that maybe we could. But I thought, well, how can we guarantee it? I mean, because we got to have tables and chairs. And I said, well, how about I sponsor it? And that's when Alex came up with the name. He said, well, why don't we call it Trent's Lounge? And I was just like, okay. Yep. And the rest is history. So, yeah, I plan to do that next year as well. And then Friday night we'll party.
Cool. I think that like it helped having, because in the past you've been there. We would steal spots.
I know
from
that I wanted to prevent that too, because we kept stealing other people's chairs. I didn't like that at all. So I wanted it to be more official and not encroach on other people's stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yes.
So now all the traders and stuff can make plans and know that they'll have they'll have space. They'll have space.
Yeah, and also people need a place to. Okay, I'll meet you there at this time is our run. Yep. But people want to sit and trade tokens. Oh, you can use this weapon, or I can help you with your build. And then after, you want to open your tokens. So, I mean, it's just like a circle of life, of tokens and meeting people and playing. So you definitely need an area. And speaking of that, I'm in talking with MomoCon, the owners of that, to do the same thing at MomoCon, because it'll be our first year there, and they don't know that we need tables and chairs, but I'm going to tell them. So
that's MomoCon's going to be pretty crazy. So that the module's coming along, and it's going to be pretty insane. So
very, very excited.
If you we actually got a lot of volunteers. So
wow, that's great.
Or they're starting to trickle in, I guess. So we got
very cool.
And it's going to be for a lot of. When I was reading through the list of like potentials, there's like a bunch of first-time volunteers, long-time players. So it'll be like a good sprinkling of people that know what they're doing, I think. So it's gonna be a good show, I think. So.
I'm looking forward to it. That will actually be the first time that I bring my wife. I always invite her. She never wants to come because to her, this is my time to go out and because I work a lot of hours, and she wants me to go and enjoy myself and just go be stupid and silly with my nerd friends. But
is she gonna play?
I think so. I'm gonna do my best.
What happens if she wants a token collection? You're in
fine.
trouble.
It's right there.
No, she wants her own.
Also fine. She can do anything she wants with your dungeon. I have no problems with that.
Awesome.
But the reason I've finally convinced her to go is I have family. My blood is, the Trent family is in Tennessee. So I said, go to Atlanta, and after the trip, we'll go up and rent a cabin and hang out with the family in Tennessee. So that's the plan. Cool. All right, so let's see. Let's check the chat. Are
they still watching, or did they like?
I think, like I said,
it's just me and you, man. Okay. It's just me and you. Let's talk about Tomb of Terror, Chapter 1.
Okay, so Kuzik says he needs to get a repeat healing to carry and never use. Sounds like a great idea. He also says Trent's Lounge and everything was amazing. Game Hole is awesome. I love that place. Yep. Hello David, says thank you for sponsoring Trent's Lounge. Made such a difference in the game hole, hanging out between runs and experience. I agree. We got to have it. Thomas says that was great this year. Thanks, you are welcome. And John says, I have my Santa beard on. I do. I grow it every winter to take a photo with my granddaughter. I started this 4 years ago. She's about 4.5 now. But I thought about wearing it, but I don't think it would work with the headset here. John says, bring Jen to GameholeCon. I wish. She also knows that I'd probably put her to work, like selling tokens, so maybe that's why she doesn't want to go. And Yancey says, thanks for all you do, John. Putting up with volunteers is hard. Hello, Yancey. And then Tom says, hey, us volunteers are here. There are people in the room, Yancey. Alan says, if those tokens were available for donations to the ACS, I think they'd be a hit. Okay. And John says, thank you for all you do, John. All right, so final question to you, I guess it's a question. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about that we didn't bring up? Anything you want to tell the community as a whole or anybody who's watching this?
I don't know. I can't put it into words. Like the community itself is just it's amazing. Like the feedback and how if you get to stand where I am and watch these little groups like kind of form and they help each other out, and they're so like anxious to like dude, let's do this, we can do this, and you can there's like this constant urge to make everything better. And I don't know, our players are just like the fantastic people, and I don't know how to express that. So hopefully the little Gruntle things that I do is kind of like a nudge in that direction. And I'm not articulate enough to like say how awesome you guys are. Like here, a good example is people doing like charity events and stuff like that on the forums, and just throwing money at like nasty stuff like cancer and everything. It's awesome. I am in other groups and other gaming groups, and that doesn't that click and that bond doesn't really exist in so many other places.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, and then what I know that like the being at Gen Con, all you're working a whole shift, and but people do that, and they're smiling, and they're like enthusiastic as every 12 minutes you got to do the same thing over and over. So our NPCs are awesome. So it's not just our players that are awesome, it's the volunteers are awesome. And then I work for crazy people that are awesome. So I'm just like surrounded with all this like, and it makes your heart swell, and you want to like just do better. And it's just like this big crazy circle, and I can't thank anybody enough. Like the little notes that it sounds corny, but the little notes that we get, or the stuff in a transmute, like, hey Gruntle, you were awesome, whatever, that's like awesome. And then like we got a couple Christmas cards, or a couple, hey, you did this for my kid during virtual, thank you so much. And the thank you cards are, and it's just me goofing off. I get paid to goof off, and it's crazy that I am the luckiest guy in the world, and I know it. If I was a billionaire, I would like make this free and give everybody everything, and so but I can't. So, but I mean, it's just the passion that people have, and we're still all civil. That's the crazy. That's part of the crazy thing too, is everybody's civil. So I just want to say thank you to all the players, all the fans, all our volunteers, the DMs that do the stuff that I can't, the NPCs that do the stuff that I can't. You guys are awesome, and I feel blessed, and I think everybody here, I think I'm speaking for them too. It's just like this crazy blessing that this thing's been rolling and keeps going. And so I'm serious. Grab a buddy, bring them to a in-person event, shove them in there, even if they're kicking and screaming. They could be like a crazy token lunatic in a couple years, or it's insane.
Yeah. Wow. Earlier I asked you to describe True Dungeon And I asked this question
It's
to
love.
everybody.
It's just love.
Describe True Dungeon to someone who knew nothing about it, and you were saying, "Oh, it's impossible." Well, you just did. Everything you just said is True Dungeon, and I agree wholehearted. And that's there's this show, there's other things. So I too adore the community, and everything I do is for the community. And you just summed it up perfectly. So very well said.
I don't know.
And you are articulate enough to describe it because you just did. So that was beautiful. And Yancey says, even after that beautiful speech, you didn't mention the coaches. So, go to hell.
I mean, we don't need them.
So Yancey,
we have the app.
We have an app now?
Yeah.
No love for you.
Coaching app.
And let's see. So to Grunel will get some pear bread from John.
Ooh.
Phil
Salsa.
says yeah, I know. Salsa John. I'm going to change your name legally to Salsa John, by the way.
Yep.
Phil says, thanks, John, for all you do, and thanks, Trent, for continuing to be such a great ambassador. That's very kind. Lori says, the TD community is just the best, hands down, no question about it. I agree. And
Except for that one guy.
That one guy's the worst. Then Lori turns on a dime and says, who you calling crazy? Brad says, super respect to all the volunteers. They do fantastic work every time. True Dungeon is definitely, has a spine of the volunteers. Kuzlik says, Lori's awesome. The TD community is the best. And, agreed. And like I said, I read Yancey's comment first. No love for the coaches. So he's very upset with you. So there we have it, everybody. John, what a supreme pleasure. Let's make this a yearly tradition around Christmas time. How about we meet once a year at least to do the Christmas show. What a joy to have met you. I believe you are one of the big reasons that I love this game, because your passion is just exponentially goes out there. It's all about paying it forward and being kind to each other. So thank you for doing everything you do. And this is just the first 20 years of True Dungeon. Let's see what the next 20 holds, shall we?
Woo! Crazy.
Well, thank you again, John. Until next time, I'll see you next month at the next adventure. And until next time, John, you're the best. I appreciate you being on the show. See you, buddy. Bye.
Yep, take care.
All right, there you have it. That was John, Grunel/John. Grunel is many people, but I think John Soul is who we identify with as Grunel. So John is absolutely the best. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. It's almost 2 hours that we're chatting. I usually try to do 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but I looked up and I was like, oh my God. So it's almost 2 hours. So thank you all for watching the show. And again, huge thanks to John for coming on. And let's make this a yearly tradition, shall we? And thank you for watching. Please do that, clicking and subscribing and sharing and liking and all the other stuff. It's really good for the show to get the word out and to continue to spread the love of True Dungeon. And speaking of happiness, remember, it's really hard to frown if you're smiling. So smile.